Hello my dear friends, today is a TED talk in the University of UES and I am showing all the videos that this person talking about our students. Okay. Today is the TED talk speaker who is coming from outside the university and he is a person like that. First of all, we are taking our diet like a protein, and there is a view of the lecture that the person who speak this type of lecture, and this is the entry gate that you scan the student ID card and you entered.
Where he spent 15 years at IBM. During his tenure, he worked in emerging technologies, including metaverse adoption, social media platforms, and virtual worlds. Beyond his corporate career, Christopher is highly sought after keynote speaker, deep tech MSc, and now author of his latest book, How to Succeed at Jobs That Don't Exist Yet. He has delivered talks at leading institutions such as London School of Economics, Queen's College, Columbia, New York University, Duke University, and today at University of East London.
Finally.
He's also a regular at the University.
Delighted to be here. What a treat to be at the University of East London. I got connected with them on LinkedIn, so that's going to be a theme throughout my talk. Some opening notes from me. It's a pleasure to be here with the future. You, ladies and gentlemen, are the future, right? You're going to be inventing businesses, careers, doing things that you're going to be doing things that look like magic to me. So I expect you to do that. Think about that. Get to it. Right after this session, I want you to be out there creating really innovative new concepts. Right? Ask questions. Also, let's make this interactive. I don't want to be just a talking head droning away. I'd like to be doing some of that. I have a lot of information to share with you. We're going to do this in two parts. A lecture where I'm going to how we got to now. Grateful for Stephen Johnson, by the way. New technologies represent new companies. We're going to talk about career evolution. I'm going to give you a sense of new learning models. Again, you're here at University of East London taking courseware and learning, but there are lots of other ways, with all due respect to the professors, to get information that you can control and manage sort of more tightly than here at the university. I'm going to talk about hiring and how that's been transformed, and then we'll get into the toolkit, right? So let's start with me. So this is me in 1973 in a dressing room about to open for the Eagles. I was 22 years old, and I was on the road with this country rock band called McKendree Springs. Your parents might have heard it. I did 3 albums with them, toured over the UK and US and Canada. This is me at CBGB's in New York with my power trio NYC, playing my tunes, fronting the band. CBGB, ever heard of CBGB's? A legendary punk club in New York City. This was like in the 80s. I ended up in the jingle biz and then taught myself to be a web producer who was hired by IBM. This is me with IBM Watson at corporate headquarters during my 15-year stint there. This is me with a bunch of Brazilian high school students at the Computer History Museum in Palo Alto. This is how you link to quantum. That's a business opportunity, by the way. People heard of quantum? Have you heard of quantum science? So many of you are going to work in that space in various roles, and we'll talk about that later in the presentation. I interviewed Zolpi Alam. He's the corporate vice president of quantum at Microsoft. Got a big job. I run something called Office Science for Quantum Economic Development Consortium, where I connect students studying quantum with mentors and scientists at Merck, pharmaceutical in Germany. So anyway, I'm still playing music. I did a game last Thursday with a jazz trio, vibraphone, bass, and drums at a brewery near where I live in Connecticut. I'm from America, by the way, in case you heard of the States. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, that's my background. Right? Let's talk about social historical perspectives. So humans have been using technology to solve problems for thousands of years. Again, a lot of this lecture is on meta-perspective, pattern matching. Right? So technology has changed, but it's, and when they say, right? So I'll give you a hint. I'm going to do my best female British accent. I refuse to issue a patent for all subjects out of work. So right away, it's UK, right? Subjects indicates it's a monarch of some kind, right? Any wild guesses? Exactly. Actually, it was before her, in fact. Other guesses? So here's who it was. It was
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth the First.
Elizabeth,
Right, and she said it about a
the
mechanized
Queen
writing
Elizabeth,
machine.
regarding a
It looked like this.
mechanized
And she said it in 1589.
writing machine,
So
1859.
30
Oh,
years
sorry,
ago, they were
18.
having
1589.
conversations about technology impacting how people work and live, moving economies from households to the marketplace, right? Making clothing at home, now making it in a factory. That was like unheard of. What are they doing? They're gonna make clothing in a factory? That's crazy. It's generating revenue, or should it be something that's, for free? And what's the model, right? So anyway, pattern matching again, conversations going on. Let's talk about technologies and companies. Orphans wanted, willing to risk death daily, $25, and the others. We say New York or Boston and San Francisco. So in 1860, it took like 30 days to get a message from New York to San Francisco, right? Probably mostly by boat. So they had to go around, there was no Panama Canal, so they had to go around South America, up the west coast of South America, and into California. So these three bankers in St. Louis came up with this brilliant idea. Hey, let's hire young kids, guys, men, to ride horses 10 miles at a time between these racetracks and the Transcontinental Railroad. They were out of business. Like within 3 days after the promontory point, after this particular event, they sold their assets to Wells Fargo, and they're solving a solution, but that are going to be gone, that are going to be replaced. And that's been going, this kind of model and pattern has been going on literally for hundreds of years. So file that away, write that down. Anybody know what this is, what these are, what this list might be? So this is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. These were the top companies in 1896 when the New York Stock Exchange opened. Right? These are the top companies. These are stock certificates, right? So the thing you can be sure of, again, is that nobody that I know is working at U.S. Rubber. Right? There's no friends or relatives who have jobs at Laclede Gas Company. General Electric is the only one that has survived. And they were actually a delisted like you. Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Visa, JP Morgan, right on and on. But these change, again, that's the model, right? Companies come and go, careers come and go, jobs and skill needs come and go, they get transformed and modified. That's happening right now, as you know, with AI, ChatGPT, robotics, bio-IT, all that stuff. So again, this is just, keeping in mind that companies are going to change and they're going to need smart people like you to drive new business models. So it could be in 5 or 10 years, there'll be a completely different list of companies in the Dow Jones, the top 10. That could happen. And you may be working for some or all of them, right? Okay, the FTSE is the UK version of that, right? The Times Stock Exchange. Started in that index. And these are household names again that I don't know because I'm not from here, but I mean, maybe you or your parents would know companies like Abbey National, ICI, and Norwich Union have disappeared. Maybe they went out of business, maybe they were bought by somebody.
Bought by.
Business opportunities can are focused on individual kinds of business that drive revenue, that are worthwhile. Tens and more people can compete, connect, and collaborate in more in the past 5 years. SpaceX, we know, right? Providing private sector. Here's some jobs that didn't exist 5 years ago, that some of you may be doing at some point. So prompt engineer, a lot of conversation around that, right? Learning how to write prompts. Bill Zhang, I describe him as sort of the Elvis Presley of quantum. He was head of quantum at Goldman Sachs.
Question is absolutely coming out from straight the primary researcher, so take it, right? Don't wait for him to say that, take the pictures, these are the jobs which you will get,
Yeah, please, take pictures, take notes. That kind of the jobs were already in existence. There weren't a lot of options. I mean, there were some, but it wasn't driven the way it is. It was essentially has no agenda there. In injectable and ingestible devices that,
Yep.
for example, go in nanobots that go into your bloodstream and say destroy the plaque in your arteries. There's something called neural dust. Are going to come, right? They'll probably be autonomous, they'll probably be electric. You'll need to find ways to navigate them, to manage the traffic for these kinds of devices. These kind of vehicles may exist where you have offices, or people may live in these kind of devices, and there'll be restaurants, and there'll be libraries, whatever. Again, someone's got a main box on your foot, or this one breaks grandma's antique Waterford crystal when you're loading the dishwasher, or this one maybe steps on your cat bringing the groceries home from the store. I mean, somebody is going to be a robotic judge talking to robotic lawyers. There's a great website that MIT sponsors called The Moral Machine. If you're interested in this kind of thinking, the trolley hospitality and astrophysics. So you can think of those. They're purporting to build a space hotel by 2027 that's going to have 400. So the challenge would be, how do you serve a martini and somebody's got to figure that out. Or make the bend, or determine what people hospitality, right? So again, these are businesses, so the range of skills. Marine biology and architecture, maybe you're into this. There's a new company called Deep, and they're ocean, and people live there and do research in these kind of environments, looking at marine life and environmental impact. Maybe it could be tied to a sustainability motivation. Looks like a pretty cool space to work, right? Watching the fish and the scuba divers go by. So you might be an undersea lab architect. I guess that's too. Again, you don't have to be the designer. Someone's got to build it, someone's got to deploy it, update it, clean it, do that. All people. So any questions about that? Let's pause for a moment. Does that make sense? New careers? Anybody want to be a nanopharmacist? This is iterative, right? So it's not going to be full-blown, hey, here's the innovative technology. It's going to be the way quantum and other, like AI, tools have emerged over the past few years. Now we're getting into now agentic AI, which is going to be the next iteration of AI tools.
Christopher,
Yeah.
my take on this is, natural stupidity is still better than artificial intelligence. So you have to do stupid things to become intelligent.
Yeah, well, I think the learning process, yeah. Yeah, no, go ahead.
What about the ethical side of it, on your transformation? Well, you love like voice modulation in future than talking to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, so again, people try to dissuade people from playing games, but I mean, those skills are applicable in lots of different settings. I mean, a lot of like financial analysts now use AR and VR kinds of tools, headsets, to look at data and analyze it in 3 dimensions and make physics and most of the things. It can, but I mean, it also can empower you to do really cool stuff. I mean, a real world example for me. So I did this podcast with this quantum execs. I put a prompt into ChatGPT. Give me 20 questions to ask the corporate VP of Microsoft about quantum at his company. And I get like it's not perfect, it's not the end result, but it shortens the cycle time. I have to go through and tweak it and finesse it and revise it, but it's.
If the future generation lazy, it can make the human brains, future human brains lazy.
Well,
I don't really think so, because like Christopher said, it's all about what's it called? It's all about a tool, a model. And I'll use this for you now, which is quite funny. Okay, if you use ChatGPT, I ask questions in class all the time, and you're staring at me. Are you lazy? Yes, you are. Because you have ChatGPT in front of you, you can actually ask ChatGPT, what's this? And we have an interactive session, and that's how it gets really interesting. But like Christopher showed slides before, do you actually know the right prompts? And even like Christopher said, when it brings out that response, is your brain working enough to know, oh, not this way, change it this way, get the better format? So I don't really think it's being lazy, it's come to stay, and how can we use it for our own good?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And again, it's a pattern, these patterns are going on.
So every time, humans have to become meta-humans, and you have a different space to work, so you'll have enough to work. Don't worry.
Yeah. I mean, if you told Ben Franklin in like read, they connect corporate learning managers to get information. Certainly lead newspaper, but groups, massive historical related kind of things, biographies and histories of organizations, or all nano degrees, right? Industry credentials that are specific to a certain skill set. Courseware like this, they issue you a MicroMaster's certificate, kind of cool. This is one supply chain. Harvard has this kind of courseware. They call it a verified certificate of achievement. Again, around courses you can take to these prestigious universities and get a credential you can then put on UK as well. University of Glasgow has micro-credentials as well. And a range of courseware, right? Digital visualization graphics, introduction to management, leadership, and health services.
Next year when you come.
That's very exciting. And again, a range of topics, right? It's not just one thing. University of Kent similarly has micro-credentials online. University of Kent. Again, it's a quote to close this section of the talk. This is Laszlo Bach. He was the Chief Human Resources Officer, Chief People Officer.
Real-world applications. Can you share any real-world applications that you work on your research on the graphical models had made a significant impact?
Where what's been significant impact?
Graphic.
But they need salespeople, they need biz dev people, autonomous vehicles. Any guesses? I mean, I think, and even Google and Chipotle uses it, Amazon uses it, Google uses it, right? So places to look for job opportunities. Twitter or X, again, companies use this tool. Here's a back-end engineer, so it's pretty specific, scientific-oriented job. Look for a DevOps engineer and back-end engineer. Work week. So just to give you a sense that these are places where you might find opportunities, right? Don't be dissuaded. I just put in research labs in London, and they came up with a bunch of options of quantum. Because they're a combination of Honeywell quantum and Cambridge quantum. So there's software and hardware. Honeywell has a trapped ion computer, quantum computer, and Cambridge Quantum, the other part of the company, makes quantum software, right? So there is some kind of job, the career page, right? Again, the model is if you're into, say, bleeding edge tech, in this case, Hammer, based in California, they need, of course, a lead quantum engineer for systems performance. But this is a really interesting one to keep in mind. They want to be able to get a hold of it. Any questions? We'll pause here for a moment before we do the toolkit. Take a deep. So the next thing I want to take you through, it's going to be challenging. I understand these exercises. And I'll share the PDF. Define your uniqueness, your personal brand, your personal product development. All right, I'm going to set my watch for 3 minutes. I want you to think about, triggers and be ready to, it could be a book.
Cool things. So I thought about how it related to all this new technology coming in and how people are quite afraid of it, like the old toys are quite afraid of the new toy coming in. Actually, as the movie goes on, they realise that if they work together, so the old toys and the new toys, then they actually have a much better tie together.
What you say, it might be a setting where you could connect with them or connect sort of disparate or about positively influencing, people in the teased out in the voice exercise, right?
Interesting lecture. Some of you who are doing MBA would reconnect with your HR 7004 module where we also talk like this, but I would say thank you to you, and remember one thing, LinkedIn not learning, LinkedIn with Christopher Bishop, ask him for a, what do you say, in LinkedIn, what do you say?
Like a connection request.
Yeah, before developing his mesh, and please, as you guys know, it is very difficult to find a traditional job. So I would recommend, come 5th of October, you should have your improvising career book in your bookshelf. Right? Please do that. It would be very helpful. It might look like I am trying to promote, but I am promoting for your benefit. But the benefit is yours. He is not going to benefit much from UEL, but you guys will benefit for all your life because you will have a toolkit which will change your life. So.
Thank you very much. Hope to see you again.